Hey guys, gaming is awesome here. Welcome back to Build a Boat. Today we have another tank. This one is my biggest tank I have ever made, uh, if you're not counting that very dumb looking Sherman that I made. It was basically a taunt, but you guys can't. Excuse me. You guys can check out that video and the tank Build a Boat tanks play this thing. I don't know. Today we have the T95 super heavy tank. This is not Russian. This is American. So do not get confused. So this is a 87 point something ton vehicle, and it's crazy. Can we? We need to get rid of all distractions. Oh, oops. Boom, done. The T-28 Super Heavy tank was an American, heavily armored tank self-propelled gun designed for the United States Army during World War II, and it's a pretty thick tank. It was originally designed to be used to break through German defenses of the Stegfried line or whatever, and was, I think, later considered as a possible participant in the planned invasion of the Japanese mainland. The 100-ton vehicle, it wasn't actually 100-ton, but people called it 100 tons. The 100-ton vehicle was initially designed a heavy tank, but was redesigned, or reassigned, or whatever, as a 150 or 105 millimeter gun motor carriage T95 in 1945, which is interesting. It went through a number of different name changes and stuff. It was weird. And then it was renamed once again in 1946 as the super heavy tank T28. And only 2 prototypes were ever made. And yeah, in 1974, the last prototype was discovered abandoned. I think they used it actually as testing, but then they just left it in a field. But it was discovered in a field at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, camouflaged in the middle of some bushes and all that. There's a picture of it too. I don't know if I can show it without getting copyrighted. I don't know, and I don't want to go searching for it. But it's unknown where it spent the intervening 27 years. Yeah, right now it's displayed somewhere at a tank testing facility. They don't actually test it, but you can go and see it and all that. It's a cool vehicle. The mass was 95 short tons, 86.2 metric tons. The length was 36 feet, 6 inches, 11.1 meters. Width was 14 feet, 11 inches, 4.39 meters. The height was 9 foot, 4 inches, 2.84 meters. The crew, there is 4 crew members. I think there would be a loader, a gunner, a commander, and a driver. There's antennas on the actual thing, so I wonder if the commander had the job of a radio operator. There's enough room in a T95 to fit like 7 to 8 people, maybe. I would think more, but yeah, the armor is 12 inches, 305 millimeters. The main cannon, I did mention this, it's a 105 millimeter T5E1 gun with 62 rounds. The secondary armament is on top, and it's the 50 cal here. The engine is a Ford GAV V8 gasoline engine. It creates 500 horsepower, 372 kilowatts. The suspension is double tracks, which is to display the weight, because this was a very heavy tank, or displace the weight. Yeah, the power to weight ratio thing was like 5.8, I think. Yeah, the operational range on the T95 was only 100 miles, 160 kilometers, and the maximum speed was 8 miles per hour, or 30, or not 30, 13 kilometers an hour. It was a very slow tank. It was very underpowered because I think they used uh, a engine from a Patton, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the armor was really thick compared to other tanks at the time, up to 12 inches, as I said. So that's more that I think the mantlet or whatever was more than a foot of armor, which this was considered heavy enough to provide protection from the German 88 millimeter gun used as a anti-tank weapon. The lower hull front had like 5.25 inches or 130 millimeters of armor, and the sides were 2.5 inches or 64 meters, or millimeters, I mean. And then, yeah, very cool tank. Very cool tank. So, yeah. Let's get over in my version. So, the actual tank, it does not have this. It does not point inwards. It continues out this like angle, and also this is very laggy. This is using a suspension that it's just a bunch of springs and two wheels. As you can see, there's lots of wheels, and each of these wheels or sets of wheels have two springs, and the gun is huge, so it was off balancing it. So I had to redesign the gun and all that. I had to delete the muzzle brake, and I also had to add stuff back here. I had to add more stuff either in the middle or in the back. So here I added just big old plates of metal right here and there. And yeah, you can't actually get into this vehicle. You'll have to actually go and click collision off on the top of it. That's the best way to get in. Inside, there's no details besides 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 cross motors, not engines. So yeah, 12 and not engines, motors. So driving this thing, I made it as slow as possible. The speed on the wheels are 5. Also, there's help by motors. 3 motors propel the thing forward along with the wheels. And then if you want to turn, you use the arrow keys and A and D. So you click A, and then you click the arrow button, and you slowly start turning. Click S and D, and then click the back arrow button. You'll start going backwards. So yay, this is very slow. I need to find out a way to make this 50 cal turn. That would be pretty epic. So let's go over the details on this. There's added armor. I thought that would be cool. A little ladder, 50 cal, a cupola, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically a hatch plus a vision sight for the commander and or the driver. There's 2 of them. There is antennas, ridges, and whatever you want to call this. I just wanted to add that. Little hatches to get to the bogey wheels and idler wheels. Little containers, more containers, sideways ladders, and there's a bunch of scratches on this tank because I want it to look rugged and used. There's a back or tail light, added armor as well, and there's no front headlights or whatever. 2 tracks, a suspension system, which barely works. You guys should actually check out the suspension video in the last episode. So angled armor, like I said, it does not angle inward. It continues on the side. See, if I designed the T95, I would design it like this, I guess. I don't know how I would design a tank, but angled armor in the front, so it can deflect shots from like TNT magnets. So that's cool. But anything hitting here, the TNT will explode and the armor's thin here, even though it's actually 300 millimeters in the real life version. But this is build a boat. I have to keep the weight down, or else it would get off balance, and the wheels will start shaking. That's exactly what happened to my M18 Hellcat. It was shaking, and I didn't realize what the problem was. So yeah, I'm going to give us extra engine power here. I'm just going to continuously hold the arrow button so we don't have to go so slow. And yeah, there's not much else to the tank itself. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the T95 or T28 heavy tank destroyer or bunker buster, whatever you want to call it. I will be making more tanks in the future, so if you guys want, please go and subscribe and put notifications on so you can get notified when my next video comes out. Next, I will be doing a Churchill, possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure on what I'm going to make next. If you guys want, I can do a tank battle with this very giant T95, and if you compare it to like my L333 or something, the L333 literally gets sucked in. The T95 is like a planet. It has a gravitational pull. Not even kidding. It pulls it in. It sucks it in. That's exactly what she said. Alrighty, that was the T95. Goodbye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Blah blah blah. Already went over this stuff. The video's not ending. I don't know why. The video's not ending.